Today's video, we're going to break down driving dogs and some of the things we can do to kind of nurture that along. Let's go ahead and break this video down. I got the idea for this video because I watched the Houndsman XP Raw Dog podcast and I left them a comment and asked them what is one thing that you can't do without on a dog, and their answer was drive and want to, and just particularly drive, and that's what it boils down to. So I think this is something that is absolutely 1000% correct. These guys did a great, fantastic job of breaking this down when they answered the question, and I appreciate them for taking the time to break it down to the extent that they did. Because a lot of the things that they said on that answer is a lot of things that I've addressed in some of my videos. Particularly when it came down to, I had a lot of canine guys. Now, canine guys as in like, training police dogs and training protection work dogs and search and rescue dogs. I kind of got some of the attention of some of these guys coming in and having questions, and my answer to them was, I honestly believe that Coonhounds have a different drive than these kind of dogs, and they really do. They have a super scent driven drive, right? To the point to where they will run across the country to find something that they smell, and that is just a lot. And my personal experience and my personal opinion behind this is that there's only one other breed of dogs that even is comparable to the amount of drive that they have bred into them, and that would be the American Pit Bull Terrier. Not like mixed up bulldogs, or not mixed up new breed, new age American Pit Bull Terriers, but old school game dogs. A lot of them are used for catch dogs, and they're used hand in hand with the hounds because they have a exuberant amount of drive, just like hounds, but it's a totally different drive, right? So if a hound had the particular drive as another dog, they wouldn't be used in the way that they are for the purpose that they are. Now, Coonhounds are specifically one of the breeds that are still out here today, that are still bred and still used for the purpose that they were intended for. And with that comes along a lot of responsibility to take care in that drive and use the dog in an appropriate way and put a dog to use and put a dog to work. And that's my personal opinion about it. And I know you guys on here that are hunters, that you guys on here, you guys understand that working dogs need to work, and drive is the main factor behind this. And drive is the absolute number one thing that you have to have in a dog. Some level of drive, a level of drive that we can encourage, that we can grow, that we can push. A level of drive that is so big that we just stand back and let it go, right? At some point, the dog has to have that want to, it has to have that drive, and it has to be able to back its nose up and get out there and get something treed, get something bathed somewhere, just run a good track, whatever we need out of that dog and its particular skill set. And I talk a little bit about this. This is a lot to do with natural ability. A lot of drive plays into this. And dogs will shine, and some dogs are bred to have a little bit different drive. Within the Coonhound family, we'll have dogs that have a lot more drive in this way, a lot more drive in that way, and they have more shining moments throughout, and their drive really comes through. Now, drive is that thing that is going to help you, right? The dog is a dog, even if the dog is untrained, even if the dog has no obedience training, the drive of that dog will help you train that dog, right? And that is the whole point. The higher drive level this dog has, the easier it is it's going to kind of be to train. And that lends its hand to the natural ability of things, and natural ability would go back to drive. Everything we have here is kind of intertwined and interconnected. So some of the things that I say in my training that we need to do to nurture the drive is, number one is the early stages, the tug of war stuff, the scent drags and stuff like that, is we're backing up and reinforcing the drive, and we are getting a gauge on the drive, and then we are also, once we find it, right, so we're finding it by the tug of war, we're finding it by running the drags, we're finding the drive of this dog, and what we need to do is we need to encourage that. And how we encourage that is praising the dog for drive. And what that will do is it will back up the dog's instincts and push it farther and harder and farther, right? So that is kind of things that we can do to nurture the drive along in a dog. Now, if we want to really get into the nitty gritty of things and we want to break it down, Coonhounds are reactive in different ways than other dog breeds. Like, you're going to get a rise out of a coon dog a lot different than you would get a rise out of a bulldog or a pit bull or a German shepherd. You're not going to get the same results because it's two totally different drive factors. So when we're training a coonhound, we have to understand the drive of a coonhound. And what happens is, a lot of the times, I think guys will go from this world of, having more house dogs or having, working dogs in other fields, and then we try to translate it onto hounds. We get a lot of it to translate, but a lot of it does not translate. And that is where the learning curve comes in. I know that's where I had my biggest learning curve. I've mentioned it on the channel before, whether it was in a podcast or a video. I had a rot for a lot of years, and I put extensive amounts of obedience training on her. And I went that route with my first coon dog. And at the end of the day, I just shot myself in the foot doing that, because we have to understand there's a line that needs to be drawn at some point in time with the drive of our coonhounds. We have to leave it intact. And that is one of the big issues that you can cause yourself a lot of headaches, is if we do not leave the drive intact for our hound and we start chipping away at it with different trainings or different obediences or different whatevers. We're going to have a hard time to get that ball rolling and to get that growed and to get that to flourish, because we need the drive at the end of the day. And that's the number one most important thing that we can have in a coonhound, outside of its bark, I will say that, or its nose, right? So there's all these things, but you don't have any of that. And that's like he said in this podcast, you don't have anything further on than, just the drive. The drive dictates everything else. And that is just a sheer fact. And the more that we can nurture it, the more that we can encourage it, the more that we can find it and pin it down, the faster process that we're going to have at the end of the day, the better time the dog is going to have, the better off the dog is going to be mentally, physically, all the things, right? It's just going to be so much better off if we leave that drive intact for the dog and use it in the way that it's meant to be used. But I think I'm going to wrap that video up right there. Between what I've had here on this video and between what they had their answer in their podcast, I think you guys should be able to piece together a pretty good idea of drive in our coon dogs. I do want to say, if you guys have heard of any of these channels from me here, my followers, and you guys have went over there and watched their content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys took the time to let them know where you came from. That way, I just want to let everybody know I'm not trying to hog up the attention. I'm not trying to hog up YouTube. I'm not trying to push anybody out. I'm not trying to say people are wrong. There's a lot of YouTube channels with a lot of guys that have been doing it a lot longer than me, a lot more information than I have even, and I just kind of want to fit in here where I fit in and get the coonhound world bettered at the end of the day. But let's wrap that up and let's jump into shout outs. First and foremost, I want to give a great thank you to Nick at Knife Life Kennels. Like I said in the Natural Abilities video, man, it really means a lot to have you come in here and take the time to watch these videos. I'm very glad that you like the content, and that I'm trying to put my best foot forward out here. I'm trying to put the best knowledge at my disposal to good use, and I'm trying to share it with people. And I think that when we get into doing these videos and teaching guys, my main goal is to leave my ego at the door. Okay, I can have my personal opinions in one way or the other, but I'm checking my ego at the door. I'm giving the best advice that I could possibly give. And if you want to see any video or you have a suggestion for any video that I haven't done yet, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will definitely do it. I'll definitely get it out there. So if you guys haven't checked out his channel, go over there and check him out too, Nick at Night Life. Awesome channel, awesome content, been around for a very long time and has, helped a lot of guys. So, shout out to you, seriously, man. So let's go ahead and start jumping into some of these other shout outs. Itchatuckney, I like getting on here. I like going back and forth and having good conversation and getting in the comments and having good conversation. I'm glad. I'm glad that you came in. I'm glad that you found the channel. It's awesome. You know, you have hit me on a couple different videos. That means a lot, right? It means a lot when you get somebody that comes in and checks out multiple content and they have, you know, multiple comments that they're leaving. You know, I hope you do great up there at that hunt that you're getting ready to go to. You know, good on you, dude. Come back anytime, talk anytime. You know, I'm open around here, man. Jack Wolf, Cody Baird, all outdoors life. You guys all left great comments. You guys are all either recently found the channel or you guys have been around for a while. But this is the first time that I believe that I've seen your guys' names, and I'm just giving you a shout out. I greatly appreciate you guys. Keep them coming. Keep the comments coming. Keep the ideas flowing. You know, keep me on my toes. You know what I mean? I gotta go somewhere with this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of running in the dark, making videos, and at the end of the day, it'd be nice to get on a set path and kind of start trudging down a road. The last video that I had out is a video that you guys commented on. That video kind of took off the way that I wanted it to. I wanted to grow, and I just kind of made that video to make a point that I'm not on here to just beat guys over the head with my ideas and beat guys over the head with my thoughts and how things should go. I know that there's other things out there that do well, and I know that there's other things out there that have been done for a extremely long time, and they're tried and true methods, and I just wanted to share the whole entire spectrum. There is some that I left off there, so if there was methods that were a combination of things, I left them off that video. If there was methods that are kind of like that, oh, I only heard that one time, or maybe I only heard that once or twice, I'm not going to put that in there. You know, I just wanted to put the most solid information I could into that video, and I'm really glad you guys liked it. Stick around if you guys want to see anything on the channel, if you guys want to hear my opinion on anything when it comes down to the coon dog training stuff or any dog training stuff, really just plop it down in the comments and I will answer you guys back. Okay, let's go into Michael Boyd, Owen, and Bobby Blackwell. Thank you guys all so much to come in and subscribe to the channel. Now, I know I got a bunch of subscribers off the last video, but these are the only 3 names that I was physically able to see through YouTube, because you guys do have private YouTube accounts. So if you have a private YouTube account or a private YouTube channel, I cannot see your name, or a public, right? You have to have public YouTube channel for me to be able to see you guys, to give you a shout out. But I'm giving you all a huge shout out right here, and you know, guys, keep them treed.